Hi everyone, today I wanted to do a quick video on how to clean up your putter after you've done a Paintfill on it. If you haven't seen it yet, I've done a video on Paintfill tips and tricks for getting started. So today I'm working on a Scotty Cameron TEI3 Newport 2. So you can see, obviously, the finished product when we show our putters online is much cleaner. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better that it's not gonna look perfect through the process, and there's, some techniques and cleanup associated with the finished result. For today, I have just a good setup. I put down some shop towels just to kind of protect my table. I have some Q-tips here for cleanup. And then I have a glass jar with acetone, and I will caution acetone, you get it on, like a wood surface or anything, it will actually take off the finish. So it's very important to just have good protection down, or if you want to do this in your garage. I guess I'm taking a risk doing this on my table with all my Christmas stuff, but it'll be fine. So the other thing I have today is gloves, and the reason being is carbon steel putters are very sensitive to moisture, to oils. Whenever I'm working on a putter that's carbon steel, which is typically the older Scotty Camerons, I always wear protective gloves whenever, we're doing the actual finish on the putter, and then when it comes to handling the putter, just because you don't want to get your oils on your fingers onto the putter and potentially accelerate the moisture / rusting process, as these putters are very prone to rusting. I will get started. I have done the rough paint fill. I'm going to take my Q-tip and dip it in a little bit of acetone, and I'm just going to kind of start on one side. And the trick here is you don't want to jab your Q-tip into the lettering. That will, kind of take out the paint fill that's inside the lettering. You just want to keep the Q-tip flat and very gently kind of roll across. So I'll show you that here. The gold finish here, you can see that it likes to bleed. So even though I'm cleaning it up, it tends to kind of suck into the putter head. So the other reason that I chose to do a tutorial with this putter and finish is that I'll give you some tips for getting that out, because it can be a little disconcerting the first time you're going through it. You're like, this is gonna, not come out, but I will show you a trick to kind of help get that residual paint out of that. I like to use Testor's paint. I find that they have the best color range, and they're also really nice to work with, but obviously, there's some nuances to that. So I'm gonna go in a little bit later and just clean that up. Go through a lot of Q-tips when you clean up, so definitely have them on hand. Obviously, whenever you're changing from cleaning up a gold to say a white, you want to get a fresh Q-tip. You don't want to mix the colors at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing here. I'm gonna lay this flat as I can, and just start to gently clean it up. If you watched the other video I put up on Paintfill, is whenever you do an oil-based finish like a gunmetal or a torch where you quench the putter in oil afterward, you always want to start prepping your putter by taking a clean Q-tip with acetone and just clean out all the lettering before you even start paint fill, because there's gonna be oil sitting in the cavities there, and it doesn't mix well with paint. So you're gonna want to try to clean that out first before you start anything. It's just gonna make the paint fill process easier, look better, be cleaner. So love all that. Not only am I going side to side, I'm also kind of rolling the Q-tip. 2 coats, I would say, is a good starting point when you're painting a putter, to make sure that it really packs in there. So that is the face and neck done. I'm gonna move on now to the sight line. Now I'm gonna move on to the bottom of the putter here. So I'm gonna pause this for a second. You can see how obviously I have white and gold pretty close together. So I'm gonna go get some tape and kind of show you how to deal with that, because obviously if I'm cleaning this up, I don't want the gold to bleed into the white lettering and just look, you know, muddy. So I'm gonna go set this down and get some tape, and I will be right back. I have some masking tape here that I am going to use to tape up the edges here. And so that way when I clean up my putter, I am not, you know, going to get any residue of the gold onto the rest of the head. So I'm gonna carefully just I'll show you what that looks like so you can see. All right, it's a little loose, that piece on top, which doesn't really matter, but you can see I've covered the bottom so I can clean this up. That is the bottom piece cleaned up. I'm gonna remove the tape now. Yeah, that is so much easier there. Alrighty. So here's the Scotty Cameron, and now I'm gonna move on to the gold line. Ooh, speaking of touch-ups, it's kind of funny. We had the T in Newport 2 pulled out onto my tape perfectly, so I'm gonna have to go back and touch that one up. So just keeping it very real here for the day-to-day. And like I said, patience is definitely a virtue. On to the next step, I actually wound up doing a second coat on the putter. So I've gone ahead and cleaned that up, and you can see, like I mentioned, there's some residue from the paint that we're gonna now work to get off. So I have WD-40 with me. Basically what we kind of coat the carbon steel heads in with this type of finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit on my fresh set of gloves here. I'm just gonna spray it a little bit. Gonna see it foam up. And now I'm gonna start working this into the putter head. So I'm gonna start on the face, and I'm just gonna gently massage it into the putter. And you can already see a difference with that residue. It is just kind of, you know, massaging into the putter head. It's soaking it up, and it's getting rid of that residue that we had seen previously. So that's a great tip if you do work on carbon steel heads, and don't get discouraged when you clean up your putter to see it. And it's also just a good layer to have on the putter regardless. Like I said, helps protect the putter against some rusting. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of work that in with my glove, just around even the parts that aren't affected by the paint. Bottom of the putter, and you can kind of already see how it's massaging in nicely to the face. I'm gonna take a tiny bit more on my glove. And here with a Q-tip and kind of massage it into the lettering that way. Just have a little bit more precision. So I'm gonna take some more Q-tip as well. Alright guys, and there is the finished product. Like I said, trust the process. It was not pretty during it, but I think she turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. So feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions. We'll try to get back to you, and just let us know if you're working on any projects yourself. Would love to hear about it. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.